jump to. I got y'all niggas put me up for no hit.
Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins, while being a standalone entry that can be enjoyed as such, is a retelling of the beginnings of the series. And I mean that literally. Longtime fans may be able to note that there are key similarities in character names. For example, an individual named Astos, the Elven Prince, appears in the original Final Fantasy, but look at what they did to him in Stranger of Paradise.
Don't be intimidated, Squidward. Try to imagine him in his underwear. Oh no, he's hot!
Hey Astos, I just had to let you know real quick that you just been on my mind, and I think about you all the time. I know this is not our first meeting. I know you've seen me so many times, you might be getting sick of me, but I will never, ever be sick of you. Now pass me that fist, baby. I almost forgot that I was making a video. Whoops. But back to the topic at hand, I'm going to break down this game into 3 parts: the story, the gameplay, and the graphics. And we'll do a little section for bonus points because I think this is a game that really is worth your time. There will be spoilers throughout this video, but you don't care about that. Honestly speaking, I didn't really pay attention to the story for the most part.
What's that ominous glow in the distance?
Okay, wait, hold up. I promise, Final Fantasy fans, I am one of you. Please do not crucify me. It just felt like the typical angsty Final Fantasy story. Edgelord meets Big Sword, fights on the People's Accord, powers the crystals and stuff. Like I said, typical. But if you must know beyond that, there's a man named Jack, and he's on a quest to defeat
Chaos.
Legit. All this man wants to do is find and kill
Chaos.
Bro, do we have a problem? Like, I love your game and your franchise enough to sing its praises, and you're just gonna keep on interrupting me? Like, you sound like you don't got no fucking respect.
Bullshit.
Alright, okay. While it may be a typical angsty Final Fantasy story, it is quite memeable, and I think it gets bonus points just for how hilarious and ridiculous the story gets. Speaking of which, as I said before, Edgelord meets Big Sword, fights on the People's Accord, and powers up the crystals, but you can't do that in a Final Fantasy game without the rest of your party members. In come the other 4 Warriors of Light.
Excuse me, Mr. Magus. I thought that there were only 4 Warriors of Light in any Final Fantasy game. You just said 5.
And that's a great point, Mr. Star, but if you shut up and let me finish, I'll get to that. Remember how I said I didn't pay attention to the story for the most part? Well, once you reach the near end of the game, you'll start to notice a shift in the group's demeanor. They seem to be working towards an actual goal, and the mention of chaos starts to lessen and lessen. The breaking point comes when you finish a fight with a character named Astos. Yes, Astos. A cutscene will play, showing how you were sent to the world via Lunarians, or scientist thingy people, and the events that played out that you went through and experienced happened in a loop, and by making subtle shifts, you were able to break the loop. Upon breaking out of that loop, Jack finds himself surrounded by his allies, yes, the 4 other fake Warriors of Light. A camera rotates and it switches. Jack's last name is revealed, and the person sitting atop the throne is Garland. Yes, that Garland. Yes, Garland from Final Fantasy 1. Yes, that Garland. This revelation was so amazing to me that it warranted an entire second playthrough. I actually played through the game on the harder difficulties because I was like, yo, now I gotta actually go back and see what this is talking about. Or you will, because I'm actually done talking about the story. Story gets 6.5 out of 10 up until the end, where it is bumped up to an 8. Yes, the reveal is that good. quick tangent, shout out to all the YouTubers who make videos that are longer than 5 minutes long. This is torture. Oh my god. I guess it's a good thing that I do legitimately love this game. So, bonus point right there. Longtime players have noticed the series shifting towards more action-oriented gameplay in later games. For example, Dissidia, a pretty good fighting game for the PSP. We don't talk about the PS4 version. Final Fantasy XIII was a niche action RPG, while Final Fantasy XV was a full-on teleporting, guns-blazing, boy-banding extravaganza. Legit. I'm still in my 20s and I feel like Final Fantasy XVI might need an extra hand. Stranger of Paradise falls into a wondrous space within the action RPG mix. It's a little misleading, and it might give FromSofty vibes. You'll see the high damage output from enemies, you'll die in 3 hits or whatever, healing items that replenish when you rest, akin to a bonfire, and a dodge roll. And you might think to yourself, oh, this is Dark Souls. Let me tell you right now, you couldn't be more wrong, okay? Stranger of Paradise is Neo meets Devil May Cry meets Final Fantasy. Yeah. Neo for the gear system and the mission progression, Devil May Cry for the flashy, splashy combos, and even juggling, and Final Fantasy shines through the class system. Yes, the class system. You don't level up in a traditional sense, but you do get class experience. Mixing and mastering classes leads to new, more advanced classes being unlocked. The tiers are basic, advanced, and expert. Let me give you the rundown in another video because there are 27 classes that each have their own quirks and abilities. If I get 50 likes, I'll do it. Just know that you level each class individually, but the stat boosts that you put in points for are applied to all of your classes. Personally, I am a sucker for a good class system, and this game has one. The weapon system is reflected quite nicely, as well as the variety and look do tend to change as your item levels increase. You can choose a bunch of different weapons based on your class. Fist weapons, swords, axes, maces, spears, greatswords, daggers, and even katanas can be used to eviscerate your enemies. The weapon skills can wildly differ based on your class, so there is incentive to try all sorts of combinations. For example, a monk with a fist weapon versus an assassin with a fist weapon, your weapon skills are different. And that's all I'll say. Did I sell you on this gameplay yet? No? Well, the fighting is some of the most satisfying I have ever come across in an action RPG. The normal attack combos are clean, and the abilities can freely flow in between combos. Some even lead into others. Yes, you do have to manage some sort of mana/stamina, but it is refilled by landing attacks. This game wants you to be in the paint at all times. The enemies even have a stance meter, Neo executions, and can be finished by turning them into crystal meth and shattering them. I'm kidding. It's clearly crack. The boss fights in this game feel distinct as well. You can tell that the whole Squaricity was put into their designs. On my first playthrough, I even saw some familiar fiends I had missed. Except you, Behemoth. I fought you in Monster Hunter and it made me want to cry. Why do you have to come up in every single Final Fantasy game? Please just die and stay dead forever. I haven't even told you the best part about the gameplay. You can play the entire thing in 3-player co-op. Do with that what you will. Gameplay receives a 9 out of 10. I'll be honest, I'm surprised I actually wrote something down to read, and I wrote it in one sleep-deprived, half-tipsy night. This section will be relatively short compared to the rest of the video. You've seen the graphics throughout all of this. Do you like them? I like them. They hold up in cutscenes, kind of. But we'll give them slack. They're still gorgeous outside of them. 8 out of 10. I really wish that Square Enix would put more consistent effort into their English voice acting. Not to say that the voice acting in this game is bad by any means, but it doesn't feel different. It feels typical. We've had characters with way more memorable voices, like Balthier, Zaldin, Axel.
You really do remember me this time. I'm so flattered!
And of course, the most recognizable voice of all of Square Enix properties, the one mage who is capable of casting Zetaflare, canonically the strongest character, Donald Duck, baby! Aside from that one gripe, I think this game is honestly one of the best that I've played, and it's a gem that I wish I could play for the first time again. Between the surprise ending, the linking back to the original Final Fantasy, and the humanization of a prominent antagonist, there was nothing more I could ask for. I hope you give this game a try. Maybe pick it up when it goes on sale. I mean, if you have a job, then just buy the game. I mean, don't buy stuff if you don't have money to buy stuff, you know. It's 2022. We all gotta work out here. My final grade for Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins is a hard 9 out of 10. Rock hard.